obviously with a significant advantage in terms of experience. He's also slightly the taller of the two. There we go, Joey Parsons.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is quarterfinal fight number 1. And Jason Suddy's
strapped up the dreads on the back of his hair. He'll be easy to identify out of the blue corner.
Scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds of kickboxing action. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He enters the ring wearing silver-black trunks with red trim. He has 4 wins, 1 draw, 3 by knockout. Representing Strikeforce in Auckland, ladies and gentlemen, this is Smokin' Joe Parsons! And his opponent fighting out of the red corner enters the ring wearing black trunks with red and yellow trim. He has 19 wins, 10 losses, 2 draws, 3 big wins coming by way of KO. Representing Team Hammerhead in Dunedin, he's the current ISKA South Island K1 Rules Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for David Wolverine Watts! Fighters in the center ring, please, for Clive Colley's instructions.
Guys, listen to me to obey my commands at all times. If I say stop, stop, okay? Protect yourselves at all times, okay? Touch guys, step back, everyone fight.
David Watts on the right of your screen, much more experienced. But Monty, you can guarantee that the Strikeforce fighter will move forward, be aggressive, and get right up in his face. This is 3 by 3-minute rounds, first of our quarterfinals.
Yeah, Joe's going to take his opportunity. He's not the most experienced of the two, that's for sure. But he knows now, both men know now, if you are to be victorious, you've got to win 3 of your fights.
The other thing you've got to remember is Parsons is yet to experience a loss, so he will come in expecting to win and fight harder because of it. Nice lead hook off the lead hand from Parsons. Leads with the right hand on that occasion, just falling short. Watts, he's a good counter kicker, and you can see that. He's looking for it. Chin's, though, up a little high, and I think Parsons looking for the left hook.
Yeah, Watts has still got high hands, even though his chin can come down a little bit. Like you said, he's measured. He definitely looks like he's a capable fighter in terms of both attack and defence.
3 by 3-minute rounds, so there's a little bit more time to work things out. 2 minutes go by so quickly. Nice straight shot there from Parsons, although he collected one down south, ironically from David Watts. Little counter right hand just taken on the temple by Parsons, but Watts just timing his shots. Just looking for an opportunity to pull the trigger, Watts. He's landed a number of kicks to the lead quadricep, the lead thigh of Parsons. Watts looking to be the heavier of the two. Be interesting to know what the walk-around weight would be.
If you're Parsons, you don't want to be taking too much damage early on, especially if you're least experienced and inexperienced yourself. Watts, very measured. You mentioned he could kick well. His presence felt through the legs at the moment.
Yeah. He's landing the cleaner shots, although Parsons is the busier of the two. Watts, I think, just waiting a little bit too long. And this is it's a cold evening here in Porirua, and I think you've got to be very careful you don't come in cold, because it takes you a while to warm up. We're heading into the final minute of this, the first round of the first 8-man quarterfinal. Joe Parsons looking good, although he's collected plenty of thigh kicks. Watts has fallen short with that right hand for the most part. He just needs to find his range a little more.
Well, obviously, if you win by knockout, you get more time backstage to recover. The other way of thinking is just by saving some energy, just doing what you need to do to get through the rounds, and that seems to be the way that these two are taking this fight.
Yeah. Parsons, he's been busy, he's been accurate. He's starting to find the rear leg and also going up high with his left leg. He's gone close a couple of times. Nice little short right hand, but that was answered in kind. Well, Parsons is showing that he's not there to make up the numbers. He's being aggressive and he's selecting his shots well. Watts, he's been more methodical. Probably the heavier puncher and kicker of the two. But I think Parsons is certainly, he's landed more shots. High with the left kick. He also landed a right hand before that, being very accurate. Joey Parsons just looks to lack a little bit of power in the shots. Here's a right hand that landed from Watts.
Yeah, he's landing the better shots of the two. Definitely pretty accurate. I think he seems to be seeing what Watts is throwing in terms of his punches. His eye is in at the moment. Aaron Boyd's giving him his instructions now.
If you have a look too, he's nicely sweated up at the shoulders. He was wet when he came in. David Watts very dry there. So I'm going to narrowly go that round through to Joey Parsons, the inexperienced fighter. He was slightly sharper, slightly quicker, and Watts just needed to pick up his game and use his extra weight and extra experience a little better.
Not a lot of weight behind Parsons' right hands, but he did find a home for it plenty of times.
You got to be careful too as you go up. You're fighting heavier punches, David Watts, because they don't just red in the face, they start to damage and maybe even knock you out. So there's a hole, perhaps if one of the trainers is watching, if Watts manages to get through. Round 2 underway, first quarter final. Joey Parsons in the red and black and blue gloves. David Watts is the paler of the two with the short hair. He's the South Island fighter fighting out of the red corner. That right hand has just found a home. Every time Parsons has thrown it, there's an uppercut from Watts, though. Acknowledged. You got me, buddy, but you'll have to do better next time. Some reddening start to show on the left thigh of Joey Parsons. Just Watts looks to be holding on to his shots a little bit too much, Monty. He's just not quite pulling the trigger as he needs to.
Yeah, he's very active on his lead hand with his jabs and his lead hooks. Haven't seen too much power from him, or punching with intent. He shaped up then, but he came with a leg kick to finish.
Yeah, sometimes I think you can just be a little bit too measured. He just caught an uppercut on the tip of his shot. Nice right hand, followed up by a low kick. He's now starting to fight a home for that low kick. Parsons keeping busy with his left legs. The best way to avoid getting his legs smacked. Just a slip as Watts went high with the knees. Third man in centre ring, Clyde Cowley. Left hook counter there. Body work from Watts. Nice right hand in reply from Parsons. Good even fight this.
Yeah, starting to heat up with half a round to go in the second.
Some nice work there from Parsons, and then an uppercut and a right hand there. But Watts starting to do a number on the legs. Still a minute to go in this round. Another right hand landed, but it was more of a pushing punch from Watts. Body shot once again. Watts now starting to come on a little. They're getting confidence too. Parsons, though, taking no backward steps.
Yeah, Watts comfortable fighting in close range, even though he's the taller of the two. He's happy to be in their pocket in exchange.
Look to see a right kick go up high at some point from Watts. Again, Watts lands that uppercut off the right hand, but he's crushing the lead leg. He's going to throw one high sooner or later. Nice little right hand over the top. Look at how Parsons' lead hand is dropping to defend the kick to the leg. That one was checked because he didn't set it up. Just went straight there. Watts starting to come on strong. Final minute of this round. Missed with that knee, but he's starting to get some confidence there. Well, that's a reversal of round number 1, unofficially on my scorecards.
There will be a 4th round.
David Watts coming home strong, particularly in the final half of that round. As a little darkness descends between rounds here in Te Rauparaha Arena.
And David Watts very comfortable in there. We saw a beautiful uppercut. Both men actually getting some joy out of the uppercut, as we see a right hook there from Parsons as he walks forward with his legs. And as that man we mentioned, David Watts, who finished that round, probably the more comfortable of the two. Happy to be in there, in the pocket, exchanging, getting the better of them as well.
Tough young man, Joey Parsons. He's 4-0 in his career. He's yet to be defeated. Coming out of the Strikeforce gym, up against a fighter with so many more fights, 6 times more fights in the bag. David Watts, 29 fights to his belt. Joey Parsons, just the 4. He's gone close with that high kick on a couple of occasions, Parsons. Watts has had the gloves there for the most part. Parsons just needs to set it up a little. You can see he's trying to go downstairs to the body to use the hands drawing the elbows low so he can come over the top of the kick. Nice sharp right hand there. Exchange of leg kicks there. Parsons again starting off the round strong. Everything on the line. This is the third and final, first quarter final. Good left hook there from David Watts, and the knee to follow up.
Works well off that lead hand, Watts. Seen a few lead left hooks. Still finding a home for that right hand with the straight right and the uppercut too.
He's worked well early in this fight. Landed some, early in this round rather, he's landed some very good clean shots and shown a variety of punches. Little switch uppercut, bit of claret coming from the top of the nose. Is that off the nose, I wonder, or out of the eyebrow? If it's the nose, it's not too much to worry about. If it's the eyebrow, it could have an impact later in the fight. Watts needing to minimize damage now, going downstairs with that left foot to the body again. Left hook starting to find a home more regularly.
As he marches forward, Joey Parsons trying to get off the rope, but he bounces back. The man from Strike Force. He's had a mind exchanging.
That's what he's saying. Tongue comes out, smiling, claret coming down his nose. Little bit of hopscotch there from Joey Parsons. Good performance from him so far. There's that spinning back kick to the ribs. Watts starting to gain more confidence as he goes on. Now starting to bring it home. A minute to go in the quarterfinal.
Nice subtlety there. I thought it was a spinning back fist, but it was a leg that he brought up late. Very hard to defend. But Parsons, pretty strong.
Took Monty Beethoven back to his teenage years doing sport karate.
Very long time ago then, for the hair as well.
It was about 70 years ago, I think, when karate first came to New Zealand. Right hand coming off the table from Watts. He's been dominant in this round in many ways. Brave Joey Parsons, but Watts has started to land more frequently and more heavily, and with a greater variety. I'd like to see Watts double up with that left hand, left hook, left uppercut, because Parsons is keeping his right hand high, but you can sneak it up the middle. You can see just the fatigue coming into, he's missing with shots more now. Right knee going high. Well, that was a very technical battle, a brave battle from Joey Parsons. For my mind, I think David Watts is snookered, but close enough in these quarterfinals that it could go either way, depending on how you scored that second round. For mine, it was Watts with the heavier shots, but not a lot in it. Monty Beetham.
Well, Joey Parsons, hugely the least experienced of the two, but he wouldn't have known. He threw caution to the wind. He was in there, he was mixing it up, and he made a real contest of that battle. A close one, Mike. I think you may be right in terms of the bigger punches landed and kicks by Watts.
Well, as we await the decision, we will look forward to our next battle. Quarterfinal number 2 will be coming up after the break. That'll be Josh Masters, a former finalist, against Carlos Hicks, who is my pick as the one to watch in this tournament. On the opposite side of the draw from Victor Mechkov, the defending champ and former champ, Blood Diamond.
Fighters to the center ring, please. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing action, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision, where we find a majority decision winner. Your winner, and going on tonight to the semifinals, fighting out of the red corner, David Wolverine!